I understand how the economy works. I spent my life working in the real economy.
The real economy? Thanks for staying with us tonight, folks. We need to focus big time on this. American workers are learning what Mitt Romney means when he talks about his experience with the real economy. Workers in Freeport, Illinois, where we did the show on Friday night, they are suffering from Mitt Romney's economy firsthand. They're feeling it. Now, we have been reporting on this show about the 170 Sensata workers who are losing their jobs. Romney's company, Bain Capital, controls Sensata. Bain's shutting down the plant and shipping the equipment and jobs overseas. Workers have been fighting the plant closure for months. 14 people have been arrested. Tonight, workers sent us this video. Sensata had told them that they could stay home with pay if they felt threatened by protests. Instead, a handful of workers walked off the job to join the protesters in a show of solidarity. They call their town Bainport. How appropriate. But there are a lot of Bainports all over the country. In fact, there are lots of towns and lots of workers who have been hit hard by Romney's company and what his vision for America is when it comes to the economy. Mitt Romney is an expert at closing companies and making a dollar. In fact, I would say that he is a pioneer. Let's take a look at the record. The Wall Street Journal reviewed 77 of the businesses Bain Capital acquired while Romney was in charge. 22% of them either went bankrupt, reorganized, or shut down. But while those companies were dying, Bain investors, they were living it up. They were making a dollar. In fact, Bain made 50 to 80% of its holdings in profits each year. Romney profited while what? American workers took it in the shorts and lost their jobs. And now, it's not illegal. It's just what happened. This is his economy. Tonight on this program, we want to show you some of the other free ports around the country. Let's start with American Pad and Paper, or AMPAD. Romney was in charge when Bain acquired this company in 1992. By 1999, AMPAD, they were bankrupt. 385 employees were laid off. Bain liquidated its interests and made, only $102 million. The former managing director of Bain Capital says Romney was directly responsible for AMPAD's layoffs. But he knew where the money was, didn't he? Mitt Romney did the same thing to this company called GST Steel. Romney was in charge when Bain acquired a majority share in 1993. Bain emerged. He went ahead and put it together with another steel maker in South Carolina. And by 2001, GST Steel was bankrupt. And another 750 Americans were out of a job. Bain made at least, $12 million on the acquisition and collected $900,000 a year in what they call consulting fees. That's when some guy calls you up and says, what do you think we ought to do? Well, fire the workers, send the jobs to China, and take the freaking money. Are we starting to see a pattern here? Bain acquired DDI while Romney was in charge in 1997. The company made electronic circuit boards. They just filed for bankruptcy in 2003. Some of the employees were offered transfers, but at least 2,100 out the door, gone. Now, to be fair, Romney was not on the board of directors when DDI went under, but his company made about $36 million on that deal. Cambridge Industries is also a good example of another company losing money while Mitt Romney was in charge. The model is, no matter how poorly a company does, Romney can still go in there with his boys and just make a ton of money and charge these massive consulting fees. Bain acquired Cambridge in 1995. It's an automotive plastic supplier. 5 years later, Cambridge, what they do, they went bankrupt. There's no record of how many jobs were actually lost on this deal, but union leaders say it was at least 1,000. And in the end, Bain made just a slim $10 million on this deal in fees. In 1994, Bain invested in a company which makes medical devices in Miami. Mitt Romney shut the company down 3 years later. At least 1,000 workers lost their jobs. We're not sure just how much money Mitt Romney made on that deal, but we do know that Bain charged its usual multi-million-dollar consulting fees. The list goes on and on and on. And so when I hear Mitt Romney say that he understands this economy, the only thing he understands is kicking workers to the side of the road and turning them into roadkill and taking the money and going out the back door and, oh, by the way, having the money planted overseas. Ask yourself the question, is this the economy you want in America?